Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Slow It Down Sunday. I am your host, Arlene Connolly Drummond, and I am so thankful, so glad that you've taken time to pause, to slow down, to relax, to rest, to ease into a new week, to recalibrate, to revive, renew, restore, replenish, and reposition yourself for a productive week ahead. Welcome, and thank you for joining us tonight on Slow It Down Sundays. You know, tonight is a special night, a unique opportunity for each and every one of us. Today is the last Sunday of February. Can you believe it? It's the last Sunday of February. And over the course of these few weeks, many people around the country and in some places around the world have taken a special moment to spotlight and celebrate, recognize, and honor the brilliance that is Black history, recognizing our contribution to this world, to this country, the impact that people of color, Black folk, have had on all fabrics of society, and helping us to remember and to recommit to honoring the legacy that is our history. And so tonight I wanted to lean in on that a little bit, because the connection, the commitment, the awareness of our history has been so pivotal to who I am. It is part of who I am, not just any day, but every day. It is in the fabric of my DNA, and it influences everything that I do. The grounding that I have comes from not just my faith walk, but my understanding, my opportunity that I've had to sit at the feet of elders
and glean the wisdom, to open textbooks and learn about our history, to watch movies and productions that give us insight. And the richness of our history cannot be contained in the 28 days of this month. But we want to make sure that tonight, together, we pause as we step into this place of reflection and reconnection and recalibration, to remember our why, to lean into, tap into that resilience that keeps us going. What is that thing that even in the midst of challenge, of difficult circumstances, when things seem bleak, that there is something in us that still pushes forward? And we don't just push forward, we push forward and we still create, we innovate, we invent, we teach, we grow, we flourish in the midst of challenge. And so I just wanted to come in to this session tonight and share with you that my ability to slow down, to take a deep breath. Did you do that today? I did several intentional deep breaths. But if you haven't done that, I want you to just pause and just take a deep breath and breathe out slowly, right? Just take a deep breath and breathe out slowly. Because I know that there is a heaviness around us. It is everywhere. We can't escape it. But there are tools that we have in our toolbox that we're going to have to pull out and really reconnect with to help us navigate the road ahead. So, celebrating, honoring Black excellence, the legacy of resilience that, yes, flows through our veins. It is so grounding for me to know the creative genius that is the lineage of my people. Because without that knowledge of who I am, of my history, then unfortunately, if I am not aware of it, if I don't have the insight and the knowledge of it, then other people can reframe their own narrative and tell me their own perception of who I am. And I'm not comfortable with that, and neither should you. So I encourage each and every one of you, if you haven't spent time leaning in to learn more about your history, your culture, your heritage, those things that frame who you are, that give you perspective, that give you context, that helps you see relevance, that helps you understand value and worth, that helps you to know with unshakable confidence that you are of great value, that you have tremendous asset that you bring to the world, that you are a person of significance, and that when you step into the room, into any space, you transform that space with the light you bring. That's how I flow. But if I don't know that, I'm in so many spaces, and I'm sure you are too, where people can, and they try, to out your light. Try to make you believe that you're less than. Try to make you believe that you don't belong. Try to, in many cases, steal your ideas, right? And make you think it was theirs. Because we are a walking example of our genius. And it flows through us so freely that sometimes We don't even know that we're giving away our pearls right in the midst of treacherous waters. So, when we strive to slow it down, and when we look at what will it take for us to navigate all that we go through in a week, in a month, in a year, right? Or through our lives, what has been the things that have allowed us to sustain? There are important elements about who we are that allows us to sustain. You know, I had the opportunity to be part of a phenomenal program when I went to college. It was called NOAA. And in that program, I got the opportunity to connect with the genius of historians and individuals who poured into us a knowledge and an awareness of our history. It was a pivotal, transformational time for me, because I will tell you, the person you're seeing in front of you right now, prior to that learning, prior to that exposure, prior to that understanding, that awareness, that learning of who I am and the lineage of greatness that flows through my veins, that is not just the history of slavery, that is our story, but the rich history of our African ancestry and the brilliance of who we are as a people and all that we've done in this country and throughout the world. That knowledge gave this quiet, shy girl, who you wouldn't hear her voice above a whisper, voice, gave her confidence, gave her a sense of assuredness, not only that she belongs, but that her voice has power and that she has a responsibility to be a conduit of building her community. I understood another level of responsibility. It gave me a framework. It gave me this whole new level of awareness that I didn't have before. And it wasn't an arrogance that I gained, but it was this firm foundation of understanding that my people, no matter what has been thrown at us, we push, we persevere, we press. In the midst of fear, we still move forward. When we're not sure if the odds will be in our favor, we still found courage to move. When you think about the likes of a Harriet Tubman and what that took for her to journey through dark spaces, uncharted territory, with the fierce, persistent pursuit of the slave catchers trying to get her. And she didn't just navigate herself, she navigated so many others. That resilience, that power, when you look at the fact that, or when you know that science, mathematics came from us, that we had an awareness, a higher intellect, that time, because of conditions, has often robbed us of knowing that we have this innate genius that's within us. And so when I find time to pause, when I do things like this and I say, Arlene, it's time to slow it down, bring it down several notches, and reflect on the past week, the week ahead, the things that are going on around me, how I'm feeling in my spirit, sometimes even the levels of anxiety that I may feel, because sometimes I'm just feeling really pent up and really bothered. And I say, okay, it's time to slow down. What I'm able to do in that moment, like I'm doing tonight, is I'm slowing down, but I slow down with a sense of context, a sense of intentionality. And I said, when I slow down, like I'm doing right now, I am saying, ooh, it's been a tough week. I know you've been feeling it. I can say that. It's been a tough week. I made it through this week. And I can just reflect on what were some of the behaviors that I had to lean into, the knowledge, the awareness, the tools that I had to use over the past week to support me as I go through my days. And I just want us to think about that. Think about what are the tools you're using to help you sustain yourself and navigate the various territories, the various responsibilities you have on a consistent basis. What are the tools you use? And I'm just inviting you to know that for me, one of my tools, one of my anchors that helps me to travail, to persevere, to press forward, to step into rooms and spaces where many times the voice of people that look like me is not being heard, and I can step into those spaces and remember that there's a legacy of resilience, of resistance, of strength, of tenacity, of perseverance, of people who did not sit quiet. We stood up, we rose, we spoke, we acted, we moved, we resisted. It is part of who we are. We step into spaces with a level of intelligence that allows us to navigate treacherous waters. And so when I am able to recalibrate myself in my slow it down moments like today, I lean in and pull out my toolbox and I check in to see how many of my tools not only have I been using or do I need as I prepare for the week ahead. What tools do I need to activate in my toolbox to position me to be the most effective, best version of myself as I step into my new week? And for Arlene, and I hope for some of you, that you can reflect on the richness of your history, of your lineage, the strength of even a grandmother, a father, a great grandfather, learning who these people are and were and how they were able to do so much with so little. It gives us a different sense of context. And if I can give one side note, if we fail to share, impart, educate the next generation, our children, our offsprings, our community, with the richness of who we are, with the genius that is us, if we fail to do that, if we fail to ensure that our presence and our relevance in the historical context is not diffused, we will have a generation that will find themselves defined by how other people want to frame their presence, their existence. And that's not okay. Our ancestors didn't allow it. And in this moment in history, we can't allow it. And so my brain is being mindful about what this Black History Month means to us as a people, what it means to us as a country. Because when everyone in a community, in a country, in an environment, in a space, even in a family, can understand and see their value, their worth, their positioning, their relevance, to know that they matter, to know that they have their own unique gifts and talents and skills that they bring to the table, when they are allowed, when we all are allowed as a human race to show our humanity, to allow each of us light to shine, that we don't have to dim our light in order to make other people feel better, or we don't have to dim our light in order to fit in, but that our light is the gift that we bring. When we have that grounding and that true sense of our purpose, it gives us a different way that we show up. And it's so critically important that we equip our children with that strong sense of who they are. Because there are many narratives that are being shared. And it's important that we filter that narrative and that we are the first and primary educator of our children, of our families, so that they too are grounded and solid in their awareness of who they are and the legacy of people that look like them. That is so critically important. And so I wanted to give you a couple of elements that are critical for us understanding what it means for Black excellence. So when I started IC Group, my company, and IC stands for Igniting the Spirit to Excel in Excellence. God gave me that. And the name came from a dialogue I was having with God, saying, Lord, I just want to talk to people. I want to guide people. I want to help people to realize that there's a higher level of excellence that we could be aspiring to. That many times we think we're operating at our best, but we're harboring in mediocrity. I want to help people ignite that spirit of excellence. And I wrote it down, and it's spelled out IC. Igniting the spirit to excel in excellence. And so excellence is something that is important to me. And many people in culture will tell you, in order to achieve your highest levels of excellence, that we have to operate from a place of exhaustion. We have to burn ourselves out. We have to grind, and we have to hustle. And hard work, dedication has its place and its necessity. But slowing down and embracing rest, peace, renewal, restoration, the opportunity to think clearly, to process, to be creative, that happens in moments of rest. And so this slowing down is not a piece of laziness. Growing up in the Caribbean culture, the minute you're resting, someone will say you're lazy, right? But this is not laziness when we pause and we rest. This is us taking care of us. This is what it's called. This is personal leadership. Us taking ownership and honoring the opportunity for self-care, self-focus, so that we can show up in all the spaces that we show up and be the best versions of ourselves. So as you step into your week, I wanted to give you some of what I would call the tenets of Black excellence, the thing that will be important for us to continue to be and show up in the brilliant spaces that we do. And so number one, resilience and perseverance is a critical tenet for excellence. It is the ability to rise above challenge, turn obstacles into opportunities, and keep moving forward with strength and grace. We knew it. I've told you. We had that conversation. Obstacles, struggle, challenges, it is part of being human. It is not going to go away. But how we show up, how we embrace it, how we face it, how we respond to it, that's the key difference. And so let's embrace resilience and perseverance as one of our core elements of what it means for us to have Black excellence. Black excellence number two is innovation and creativity. From ancient civilization to modern day pioneers, Black excellence is about transforming the world through art, science, business, technology. We are a creative people. And there's no limits to what we can do. Man, we are brilliant. Number three, Black excellence, cultural pride and identity. Honoring the richness of our history, our traditions, our contributions to the global society. We have to make sure we're honoring that. We have to take pride in that. We have to walk with that grace and that confidence, knowing who we are. We have to do that. No one else is going to do it for you. We have to embrace that. We have to know that we are fearfully and wonderfully made, that we are beautiful by design, that we're a unique creation, packed with talent, skills, and brilliance and possibilities, all wrapped up into that person that is you, that is me. We have to know that with a confidence and an assurance that there's something unique that each of us is supposed to contribute to this world. And no one else is going to do it like you. But you have to own that. You have to feel that. Because you're going to need that sense of confidence and self-knowing to navigate the roads ahead, to embrace the challenges that are to come. We have to know it. Black excellence. Number four, leadership and legacy building. I told you already, investing in the next generation through mentoring, education, and showing our next generation creative pathways to success. We didn't get here overnight. It took work. We have to help our next generation understand what it takes to achieve their goals, how to persist even when someone says no, when the obstacles are before them. How do they still carry forward when it's difficult, right? So, leadership, we provide that level of leadership, and we create and build legacy for our community because we write our story. We're able to share the pathway forward. That's leadership. We are to leave the tools, some breadcrumbs, some strategies for the next generation to navigate. They don't have to start at zero. We didn't start at zero. Our ancestors paved the way for us through blood, sweat, tears, through death, the sacrifices they made for you and I. And because of their sacrifices, we are. And so now because of our sacrifices, the next generation is. That's the legacy we leave. Community empowerment, lifting one another up, fostering unity and ensuring collective growth. This is part of the work that I do. When I told you that understanding of history and what it did for me, it meant that I had that framework to know that there is something that I'm supposed to do to support the community and my community to grow. Faith. We have to have our faith. We have to stay grounded in our faith. Our faith gives us another level of values and principles that helps give us strength and direction. And overall, in all things, seek knowledge. Great stuff is left in books. These are some of my books. I don't know if you guys look. Books is all around me. I love knowledge. I love information. Great information is often hidden in books. But I'm going to encourage you, whether you're using a book, a tablet, any tool, seek knowledge, seek information, seek truth, seek insight. Ensure you have context and content that feeds your soul. So tonight, as you slow it down, as you reposition yourself for the week ahead, for the journey ahead, for your next, think about how you tap into the wellspring of the history, the legacy, the greatness, the excellence that is Black excellence. Lean in and learn so that you can be enriched, nourished, and equipped to navigate, to lead, to innovate, to transform, to grow, to develop, to sustain. Because when the road gets tough and it becomes a little bit difficult to find breath, I think about the struggle of those who came before me. And I say, if they could do it, I can do it. If they can press and persevere, so can I. But if I don't know that story to glean from, then I find myself struggling to make it to the next day. So this is Arlene Conley Drummond, and I am your Stride coach, and I invite you all to continue to slow it down, find places for rest and renewal, and please don't wait for a Sunday. Creative pauses during your day, during your week to find breath, to recalibrate yourself so that you can ensure that you are in a space of clarity to make conscious decisions, strategic and positional moves that are critical to your life, your family, your career, and your community. You are the essence of Black excellence. And we are so thankful for the opportunity to lean in and celebrate and honor Black history today. And I celebrate and honor Black history every day because I'm walking it. I am it. And so thank you for joining me today on Slow It Down Sunday. I hope that you can lean in and take a breath of peace and honor and celebration of all those whose breaths we anchor ourselves on. Thank you for joining us on Slow It Down Sunday. See you next Sunday, same time, 7 p.m. Share this video with a friend, like and subscribe so we can continue to grow our community and we can be a community of individuals who find peace, joy, and fulfillment and replenishment in the midst of the struggle of living. See you next Sunday on Slow It Down Sunday.